It's been about a week at this point since the last time I uploaded a video, and I actually recorded this video last night, but I'm re-recording it because I don't like the way it came out, and I feel like I was trying to not necessarily rush through certain topics and subjects, but it felt like it was all over the place. Felt a little bit scrambled, and I also didn't like the way I spoke, so I'm re-recording this now. But first thing I want to say is yesterday was Mother's Day, so I want to thank my mother especially for everything she's done. But happy Mother's Day to all the other mothers out there who do what they're supposed to do for those who are taking care of children that might not even be their own, and for people looking over children, that need help, are in need. So appreciate those people out there, even the dads that look over their children when there's no mother for them to be there. Also want to thank everyone for all the growth and all the support, and everyone who shows love and everyone who watches the videos. Really appreciate it. I haven't taken the time to be grateful for you guys and all the support you guys show in all of my videos, so thank you. But lately for me, it's been over a week since the last time I uploaded a video, and it's simply just because work and my schedule has been very, very busy lately, to the point where I have no time to actually upload a video. I have no time to sit down and even try to speak my mind on whatever is calling me that day, whatever I'm thinking about that day, because that's the way I do these type of videos. If something is calling my name that day, if something is coming to my mind that day, I remember to think about it enough to speak on it that day. And it hasn't been like that. Work has been very exhausting lately, and it's taken away a lot of my time, and it's also been very stressful on my mindset, been very stressful on my body, because I do manual labor. I do a lot of manual labor, and it's put me in a position where I've had to reevaluate certain things, where and I was forced to sit back and do nothing. And it's allowed me to, like I said, reevaluate and rethink how I'm doing things. And I remember I was on the phone with a family member about last week, and they were telling me that it's okay to do nothing sometimes, because I think as people were so caught up in trying to carry the world on our shoulders, trying to carry all these problems that we might have, or all these things we have going on, or all these things that we're trying to do, all these goals that we're trying to do, that we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to put our team on. We're trying to put our family on. We're trying to accomplish this while also doing that at the same time. And the thing that happens is a lot of these things start to pile up, and they begin to get very, very stressful. It become almost a burden on you, because you feel as though you have to control all these different aspects and all these different factors in your life. And you might feel that if they're not controlled, if they're not put in a certain routine, or if they're not organized a certain way, that things start to fall apart for you. You feel like you're not doing enough. You feel like you're not controlling your environment the way you feel like it needs to be controlled. And I was listening to this podcast the other day, and it actually broke down exactly how I was personally feeling about everything that was going on. And it pertained to this exact thing that I'm talking about right now, where you feel like you have to control everything. And it's something that I've talked about in the past as well, which is having expectations for certain things, having expectations on how you feel like certain things need to be played out in life, or however it goes for your situation. You feel like things need to be a certain way, or things have to be a certain way in order for you to be okay. And that is where the problem lies, is having the expectations in the first place. Because, and what they were saying was, this is your ego and your pride coming in, where things have to be in order for you a certain way. But what they were also saying, which hit me very hard, was that it's not going to be that way, and that God lets you know, or life lets you know right away, that it's not going to be your way, it's going to be life's way, or it's going to be God's way, however you see it for your situation. And it's very true. You think you have everything under control until you realize that you don't. You think you have everything aligned until you realize how much you don't have everything aligned. As much as you want to think that you do, once one thing starts to crumble, it becomes a chain reaction, and then everything else starts coming down. Everything else starts getting out of hand. And that's when you are humbled. That's when you are let know that it's not going to go your way 100% of the time. And it can't go your way, because that's just the natural order of things. That is the natural way of life, of the human experience. Things have to be the way they are, just the way they are. It has to happen naturally. It has to be naturally. And that's when you have to learn to let things go, let things be how they were intended to be, not always having to have your hands on everything, because you can only reach out so far. You can only do so many things. And it's true, you can't do everything at once. You're only one person, and you can't be everywhere at once as much as you want to be. You can't take care of this thing, be over here, and then have another problem pop up over there and try to race over there, even though you have to take care of this one thing over here. You have to have your priorities set. You have to have your priorities straight. But you also have to realize it's not always going to go the way you intend. It's not always going to go your way. And that's when you have to let life take over and just literally let it be exactly what it is. Let it play out how it was supposed to be played out. Because that's the way it has to be. That's the way life wants it to be. And there's really no other way, and no other way to go about it. And that's where I've been lately, is just trying to let life be the way it is, because it's already stressful enough. You already have so much going on. And for me, over the last 2 weeks, life has been like that, where it's been chaotic for me in terms of trying to get certain things in order, in terms of trying to delegate life, trying to maintain life the way I felt like it needed to be, trying to organize things, trying to stick to my routine, and then being humbled and being taught that even if I have a routine, it's not always going to be the way I think it is. Right? When life throws you certain things, you can only do so much to juggle everything. But you can't juggle 10, 15, 20 things at once. You're going to drop some things. Some things are going to drop out of your hands. And what you have to be okay with is letting that happen. Letting it go and letting it be. And that's where I was over the last 2 weeks, especially with work. Being tired all the time, being exhausted every time I come home, not having any time for my personal mind, my mental health. And that's what caused me to break down a little bit. And that's why I was speaking to that family member. And that's what that family member was trying to tell me. And I'm glad that I had that, because some people don't have that. And it gets a lot tough when you don't have that. And it's very hard. And life is already hard enough. So you gotta be humble. You gotta humble yourself down sometimes and learn that it's not always gonna go your way. And that's what I've been trying to teach myself lately. Because all the stress, all the exhaustion, all the stress on my mental health, on my physical health, is what most likely caused me to be sick last week. And that's why I didn't upload. I didn't make any videos. You know, I think I made one video and that was it. But yeah, I was very sick, and I had to force myself to do absolutely nothing. As useless as I might have felt, as lazy as I might have felt, which are maybe not the best words to use, but it's the best way I can describe my situation and how I felt at that time. I had to tell myself to do nothing, to let myself recover, not go to the gym even, where the gym is my stress relief, it's my therapy, and it's very important to me. I had to tell myself not to do that, let myself recover, and just let things be, and become a better man out of it, be better afterwards. And that's something that I feel like everyone needs to learn. Everyone needs to take into practice. Everything I just said is simple, not easy. Love y'all, man. Peace, y'all.